Humbly request, subscribe, for support, my family.
History of piracy. It appears that the word pirate peirato was first used in about 140 BC by the Roman historian Polybius. The Greek historian Plutarch, writing in about 100 AD, gave the oldest clear definition of piracy. He described pirates as those who attack without legal authority not only ships, but also maritime cities. Who was the first pirate in history? The earliest documented instances of piracy are the exploits of the sea peoples who threatened the ships sailing in the Aegean and Mediterranean waters in the 14th century BC. In classical antiquity, the Phoenicians, Illyrians, and Tyrrhenians were known as pirates. Who was the most famous pirate? Famous pirates most notorious and despicable in history. Blackbeard. Probably the most famous real-life pirate ever, Blackbeard, real name Edward Teach, preyed on shipping vessels in the West Indies and along the east coast of America. He was Benjamin Hornigold's second in command and a key member of the flying gang before going out alone. Who was the biggest pirate in history? Blackbeard. Blackbeard is possibly the most famous pirate in history, but his life is shrouded in mystery. Much of what we know about him and other pirates of his time comes from a 1724 book, published under the name Captain. Who was the last pirate killed? Pixie, 1820, July 13, 1860, also known as Elias W. Hicks, William Johnson, John Hicks, and Pirate Hicks, was a triple murderer and one of the last people executed for piracy in the United States. Were pirates good or bad? What do pirates do? Royal Museums, Greenwich. A pirate is a robber who travels by water. Though most pirates targeted ships, some also launched attacks on coastal towns. We often think of pirates as swashbuckling and daring or evil and brutish, but in actual fact most of them were ordinary people who had been forced to turn to criminal activity to make ends meet. Who is the real king of the pirates? Henry Every, Wikipedia. Dubbed the arch-pirate and the king of pirates by contemporaries, Every was infamous for being one of very few major pirate captains to escape with his loot without being arrested or killed in battle, and for being the perpetrator of what has been called the most profitable act of piracy in history. Is Jack Sparrow a real pirate? Jack Sparrow, which real pirate inspired the Pirate of the John Ward was the inspiration for the character of Captain Jack Sparrow in the Pirates of the Caribbean films. Ward's nickname was Sparrow, and he was known for his flamboyant style, much like the Hollywood icon. Ward so ingratiated himself with Uthman Dey that he was given a large plot of land in Tunis. Captain Samuel Bellamy, 23 February 1689, 26 April 1717, later known as Black Sam Bellamy, was an English sailor turned pirate during the early 18th century. He is best known as the wealthiest pirate in recorded history and one of the faces of the golden age of piracy. What did pirates eat? What did pirates eat? Galaxy Press. Vegetables and meat were usually pickled or salted to preserve the food. Ships on long voyages relied on biscuits, dried beans, and salted beef to live. For drinking, seamen chose beer or ale rather than water. Who was the biggest pirate in Asia? Ching Shih, who lived and pillaged during the Qing dynasty, has been called the most successful pirate in history. At the dawn of the 19th century, a former prostitute from a flirting brothel in the city of Canton was wed to Cheng Ai, a fearsome pirate who operated in the South China Sea in the Qing dynasty. Who was the last real pirate? Don Pedro, the last true pirate to raid the Atlantic New. Don Pedro, the handsome, ruthless Spanish pirate, apparently didn't get the memo in 1832 that piracy was over in the Atlantic Ocean. He made a reckless move on the high seas against a brig from Salem, Mass., and he paid for it with his life. Who ended the pirates? Rogers arranged for former pirates to help the British naval sailors hunt down the remaining pirates. Within a few years his forces were able to destroy former pirate strongholds. The last pirates were either killed in battle or captured and hanged. Thus the golden age of piracy had ended.